All right, everyone. Bernie Sanders posted an op-ed, link in the description, archived, of course. He believes that the left can stop populism. Now, he calls it Trumpism. His idea is Donald Trump has created basically a worship cult, and we must stop him. We must stop him. Bernie Sanders says so. That's not really what it's about, though. It's completely asinine. Bernie Sanders has been habitually wrong for literally half a century. He's been in Congress for about half a century. I mean, he was mayor of Burlington for a while, then he was representative, then he was senator. Tried to run unsuccessfully twice for the presidency. There was a reason that he was unsuccessful, and this is the reason why. He doesn't seem to understand as times move on the things that worked in the past. So the Democratic Party's outreach, for example, to the working class, etc., no longer really, it doesn't hold any water because the Democratic Party has effectively abandoned the working class. Trump represents a soft reset, ironically, to a time in which Bernie Sanders generally agreed with uniparty politics. But he doesn't realize this because he's like 1,000 years old. It's sort of like Mitch McConnell when he votes against, nominations for people in the cabinet, and then he promptly falls down and breaks his hip or his foot or something like that. A lot of these old fogies within politics don't seem to realize that there's been a paradigm shift. They are simply unaware of it. I've been aware of it for some time. It was coming as early as the Ron Paul revolution, and then you get the Tea Party movement, then you get the Trump revolution. It's clear that US politics have transited to a different point in time. But these people don't realize that because some of these people are goddamn 90 years old. It's like Strom Thurmond got cloned or something like that. It's happened over and over again. You had Feinstein. She clung to her power until she finally expired. You have all sorts of old people within politics. The thing is, they just don't vibe with the younger generations. Now, millennials, we're no longer the young generation. That's the Gen Zers, and they're pretty based actually in some cases. But we're young-ish. We're young enough to have seen like 9/11 and stuff like that. We're old enough to understand like the nuance of politics, but young enough to also understand that things change. The very oldest generations don't appear to understand that things have changed. It's a big problem for them, and it's not a problem for me. I don't give a fuck. These people, they think that everything remains the same forever. Some of these people are 90 years old. Yeah, you may be a little bit out of touch, a little out of touch and out of time. To quote Hall and Oates, of course, showing my age as well in the process. Bernie Sanders believes that the left is capable of stopping a populistic movement that has quite clearly ignited a fire, um, even within the youth. The youth vote, I never expected that there would come a day when the Republican Party would be competitive with the youth vote. I never expected there would come a day when the Republican Party would be, relatively popular among Latinos. Maybe it was the whole Latinx thing that the left tried to foist upon them with their id poll. Basically males and females are the same. No, no, no. Gendered language is a thing, especially within Hispanic culture. It's very, very strange to me because if you went back in time and you told me, like around 2009 or something like that, you told me the Republicans would be the ones that were against the drug war, were against war in general, and were not the IDPOL party, and didn't want to do like the religious fascistic thing, I would call you crazy. I would say, you're nuts. What are you talking about? The Republican Party is effectively irredeemable. I would have used terminology on par with Hillary Clinton, but they have become that under Donald Trump. Meanwhile, the Democrats, if you had told me, way back when, hey, the Democrats are going to be very, very pro war, they're going to be very, very very, very anti working class, and they're going to engage in idpol to the point where they literally self destruct, I would say, what are you fucking talking about? It wouldn't even make sense to me. It wouldn't be sensible because, it wouldn't have been a thing, 15 years ago. When I was, young, I'm young-ish, but let's face it, when you're 37, you're no longer young. When I was in college, though, like when I was 20 or 21, I thought the Democrats were the good guys. I thought the Republicans were the bad guys. That's genuinely what I thought. And I thought to myself, until the Ron Paul Revolution era, I'm like, I'm never going to vote for a Republican. And then why would I bother to do so? Because most of them are morons. And I still think that, by the way. But now the Democrats have become more moronic, somehow. Bernie Sanders is from my own goddamn home state. He's penning an op-ed talking about trying to defeat populism. Why? Is there anything inherently bad about Trump's populism? No, there's not. Trump's populism helps the average working class voter. If Bernie Sanders wants to keep his job, he should be on board with it and at least say, well, I don't agree with everything that Mr. Trump says, but he's got a couple of good ideas. That's the way to do it. But Bernie Sanders is apparently too unintelligent to do that. This doesn't surprise me in the least, by the way. By the way, my connectors are having a little bit of a thrombo at the moment. Bernie Sanders is not a very intelligent individual. A lot of people think that he's quite smart. He's intelligent in a certain way. That's all I can say for him. My apologies to the United States of America. Please don't blame Vermont for Bernie Sanders being ignorant. He wasn't born in the state of Vermont. I wasn't either. I was born in New Hampshire, but it's the same thing. He was born in Brooklyn, actually. And so we do not lay claim to him. The liberals that generally moved in from other places and call themselves Vermonters, they'll claim him as their own. Those of us who have actually resided here in New England for an extended period of time, we don't claim him. Just say. That's about all. Peace out.